Let's hear it, Edmonton!
Wonderful to be back in Edmonton. I see we have a lot of homeless people here with nothing better to do with their Sunday afternoon. But we are pleased to entertain.
Let's hear it, Edmonton. Come on. John, thank you so much for being here with us today. We appreciate you. We love having you here. We know your time is short in Edmonton.
Oh, my time is short.
Your time is short.
I have but a few hours, a few days left. But I will give it to you. Right.
You don't get a lot of time to spend out in the city of Edmonton itself, but we have a bunch of folks all from all over Alberta and Canada here to meet you and see you specifically. What does that feel like? What does it feel like coming to these conventions and having the fans come up to you and just sharing their love for all the work that you've done?
Let me answer that question by just going back a little bit.
Yeah.
I went to my first fan convention around about 96, 97, something like that. Mm-hmm. Under duress. I was obliged to promote a show. They said, you will go and do this. I went and did it, and I was grumbling and bitching and moaning, what the hell do I want to go to see, 900 people dressed up as Captain Kirk and things like that. Can't these people find a life? I mean, and I went, and I slowly began to realize that they did have a life. And those lives were sometimes more rich and precious than anything that I'd ever really seen before. And it led me to understand and think about my own attitude towards people when I was younger. And I do not like the younger me.
Oh.
I do not like the younger me because I don't think I liked people. And
any people?
Well, not really. I mean, my attitude, I mean, this is such a shameful thing to say, but my attitude as a young actor was, I will go on the stage and I will do what I'm going to do, and if the audience doesn't like it and charges up at me to kick me off the stage, I will beat the shit out of the whole lot of them. Which isn't perhaps the smartest way of winning an audience. But what I'm trying to say is that coming to fan conventions has actually changed me. It makes me realize that as I get older, more and more, I like people. I like people, and that's not quite enough to say. I begin to love my fellow man, and it is really the fans and fan conventions that have educated me to this point, and I'm wholly grateful for it. Thank you.
Let's get to our fan questions. Again, we're lining up along the side here. We're going to go one at a time, and again, we do appreciate it if you keep your questions, just a fun general questions about John. Yeah. Tell us your first name and your question.
I wanted to know if over the course of your career, maybe that fantasy series we all know, maybe other movies and films that you did, were there any, was there just one particular memorable injury that you sustained in the line of duty as an actor?
I was doing a piece of crap for Disney.
That should be the title of this panel. I was doing a piece of crap.
I was doing a piece of crap for Disney. It was called La Femme Musketeer, the Lady Musketeer. And I think D'Artagnan has a daughter who wants to become a musketeer. Yeah, and anyway, and I think I was playing Porthos. And oh, dear God, why did I get involved in that one? I don't know. Anyway, I'm called to the set. And The AD apologizes and he says, "Look, I'm terribly sorry, John. We've still got to put this lamp up here, and it's going to be a few minutes. Can you just hang on here because it's a long way back to your trailer and back again?" I said, "No, no problem. I'll hang around." Now we had. We were in a castle. One of the castles in Rijeka, I believe, where Dante got the idea for Inferno. There was a deep chasm beside it. And we'd put up a wall to block off a little bit of the city. And it was 55 foot long and about 12 feet high. And then it had 8 feet of ceramic Mediterranean roofing tiles on top of that. I was there, and a young couple with their daughter and baby daughter came along, and I'm wearing the big French cavalier's hat, you know, the guard's hat, and you know, we have a selfie, and suddenly from behind me there is a noise which becomes monkey talk for "Watch out, it's coming from the sky."
Oh.
That sort of, whoa! And I turned thinking, oh Christ, they're dropping a big lamp on my head like that. And they weren't looking at me, they were looking at, and the wall hit me like that. I heard the wrist break, you know, with that crack that they do. I went down on my back. I knew my back was broken, and I could not. Look, I played rugby. Sometimes the scrum collapses, you're underneath, and you've got to really wriggle just to find a chance to get a breath in. I could not get any breath in. Wow. And I was fainting with lack of air when finally the crew and the stunt guys all came around and they managed to lift this damned wall off me. And I had to lie there and say, "Guys, whatever you do, don't move me. My back's broken. I think my pelvis may be broken. Maybe my knees. Don't move me until they can stabilize the neck. Otherwise, you're going to paralyze me for life." I could still feel a little bit of feeling in my feet. Ooh. And these guys held this wall up for about 35, 36 minutes before the ambulance got there. And it was one of those wonderful moments where you see what our hunting ancestors did when things went wrong. You know, they'd all be there. They were standing silently like that. And somebody else would come up, and they would nod, and they would take their positions and just keep over. They did not move me until the ambulance got there, which is probably just as well, because I would probably be a paraplegic, if not a quadriplegic by now. Wow. Yeah, back broken in 5 places, arm going. Thank goodness for the big Cavalier hat, actually, because one of the slates had come off and it pushed half my scalp off my head. Yeah, dangerous places, film sets.
Yes, very. Thank you.
What is your favorite Shakespearean role that you've ever done?
Favorite Shakespearean role. Thank you, David.
I'm glad you asked that. One-man shows are generally things that people do when no one else wants to work with them. And I'm not quite there yet, but I'm probably heading that way. I do not intend to retire. When I really can't really work on film anymore and I have nothing more to write, I'm going to take a one-man Shakespeare show on the road.
Yes, yes.
And I shall go to small village halls, big places if they'll have me, but I'll just wander the world doing a bit of Shakespeare. And I will die in harness as an actor should. The Shakespeare, every one of his plays has a richness about them, and a special quality about them that just individual lines that jump to the ear and stay with you forever. I would not be allowed to do it now in this different age, but when I was a schoolboy, I played Othello.
Yes.
And of course, I was in love with Kate, and I was losing Kate, and I knew about jealousy. Oh, did I know? Beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is a green-eyed monster. Oh, yes, I knew about that. I also played Shakespeare's Johnson's Volpone. I played Troilus and Cressida. I did all this before, in my school days, before I went to university. And of course, I went to a new university so I could found the Dramatic Society and then steal all the good parts. I would like to have a go at Prospero still. I never did do Henry IV. I'd love to have done Henry IV. Oh dear, oh God, yes. There's a very embarrassing thing. I've repeated that one many times, so I better not. You did hear the time when my wonderful manager in LA said, "Hey Johnny, West Coast Theater wants you to play Hamlet." And I said, "Don't be bloody daft. Nobody wants me to play Hamlet. I mean, I'm 55 years old and I'm, 265, 70, 80 pounds. They don't want me to play Hamlet. John, they want you to play Hamlet. Now listen, there's no money in it. I don't want you to do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it." I said, "You can't be serious. They want me," because you understand it, in parenthesis of this, that most actors just have no idea who they are, but I am a very well-grounded actor. I know who I am. There is a solidity and a profundity about my judgments about myself, yeah? So he said, "Yeah, Johnny, they want you to play Hamlet. Now, it's 3 months out of your work. You won't make any money." And I said, they can't. They do. Now, I'll just tell them you don't want to do it. No. Wait, no. I'd love to play Hamlet. I've still got the notes that I made when I was at RADA about playing Hamlet. Oh, God, I'd love to do it. Okay, Johnny, I'll tell him to do it. Okay, you're coming down for dinner tonight? Yeah, 7 for 7:30. I'll be down there. 7 o'clock, I'm down there. Russ, I've reread the play. I've relearned the first act. It's not that much, and I think I've got a real way of finding around this. I'm going to lose 25, 30 pounds. I'm really going to go into training for this. But, when you think about it, Irving was 53 when he played it, and I can get away with this and get away with it. And he said, "I got the wrong play. It was Macbeth."
Edmonton Expo. I know I speak for all of you when I say we would watch a one-man show of this gentleman in a heartbeat. Please give it up for the incomparable, the amazing John Rhys-Davies.